very, very, very tough games in our course of English Premier League, especially giving you where Chelsea are, giving you where Manchester United are, in the kind of games that have course. So Chelsea's possible big game versus Tottenham Hotspur, one of the weekend's almost decider. Almost decider, because in the last few years, Chelsea have gotten a lot of success when they play against Tottenham Hotspur. But this is a different Tottenham Hotspur side. This is a Tottenham Hotspur side that has a lot of confidence from a new coach, my brand here, a friend Thomas Frank. And one of the things that's been happening this season a lot has been a lot of the issues of set pieces that Chelsea have been having. Set piece, big problems that Chelsea have. Now, there is a new manager at Tottenham Hotspur who is an set piece expert, something that Chelsea would have to find ways to deal with. It's a really, really important game that Chelsea has to find ways to be able to deliver. Like I said, there have been some level of inconsistency from the part of Enzo Maresca and any boys now. They need to find ways to be able to get the results. They need to find ways to get consistent results. It is the only thing that can make the difference for Chelsea Football Club as it stands now. Getting consistent results is very, very important for Enzo Maresca and the man team. They need to make sure that they get that done as soon as possible. Of course, if you look at other games, because we're Premier League, Arsenal have an important game to play. Liverpool same, because they need to get back into winning ways. They need to make sure that they've started to win games. And then on the other side, in the Spanish La Liga, big one, because Football Club Barcelona gets to play in the Spanish La Liga after that. Defeats at the Estadio de Santiago Bernabeu against Real Madrid. How are they going to stand up? How are they going to get results in that game? How are they going to manage to get back into winning ways? It's important, especially with the niggling injury of Lamine Yamal and also the issue of Abrante Fredno Rafinha. Is it fully back? And the defensive issues, is it going to be Ronald Araujo or who? It's very important. But Real Madrid has to go on and continue the winning streak all the way. And he's celebrating the Bebel has of Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. As we know, our best place for sports analysis. We delve into it every day. 3 videos consistently every day and give you the best form of analysis. I say, someone subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, turn the notification, in the notification turn, do choose all, just so anytime that there is content here, you are first to have it. Hansi on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It's very, 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 very important that you subscribe and turn the notification on. Of course, if you're an investor, then whilst you're enjoying the analysis, then we're reading some quotes. This week, we've already done some 2 days that we've won quotes already. But today is Big Friday. Big Friday. You know that once a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every weekend, at least 2 days we do win. We start from tonight. And then the big games that we've picked from are just 5. So we've done good permutation, gone through the numbers very well, and then pick up the game that we want to pick the games on for you. See your codes in the description of the video. Go in there, pick up those codes, and give yourself a big chunks of winning. Of course, they are Betway codes. Let me say a big thank you to Yesimo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. If it's about car spare parts, they are in the best place there, Yesimo. He does the difference. He is the best person to go to for car spare parts. Or best sort out nicely. Go to Yesimo right now. Let him take very, very good care of you in terms of whatever that you want to do. Any car spare parts or Accra. Aboso kind and at Yesimo post office inside or so near Accra, then call him on 059-313-8221. 059-313-8221. Yesimo will come in and he'll take very, very good care of you. Uni Accra. Call him on 059-313-8221. Of course, MOB Clothing is also top in terms of clothes. In Tariabeshe, apparel or shirts, how to look clean, how to look dapper. Anything that you want to get from MOB Clothing, you need to contact Gerald and Enemame as quickly as possible. Omomo Aflao to do station on Omo to do Aflao station. Just call them on 0200-668-708, 0200-668-708. Now let's start. And then we start from Chelsea. You ever started with Chelsea, and now we started from Barcelona. Barca for more enjoyment. When we start from Chelsea, then we'll go on English Premier League, talk about Barcelona, talk about Real Madrid, all in this 29 to 30 minutes video that was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Where do we start from? Chelsea saying 70 and see. And now, a lot of people have been talking. And I like what Paul Merson has been saying about Chelsea's consistency and how they have to find ways to begin to deliver. It's true. It is very, very true. Chelsea needs to find ways to deliver. And the consistency is very, very important when it comes to how Chelsea want to go on and play games. And now, I saw a data set that surprised me. I mean, that explained to me a lot of things. I'll point to you that data set. So, Obeka this season, we have said that Chelsea are playing well when it comes to set plays. Almost share goals from the offensive side. They're scoring a lot of goals from set plays, especially at the beginning of the season when Joao Pedro and the likes, and Chelsea gave a lot of credit to a brand friend Bernardo Cueva for the job that he had done from offensive set plays. But all of a sudden, there has been recurring set play defensive issues for Chelsea, where they've conceded goals from Sunderland from a set piece, conceded goals from Brentford from a set piece, conceded goals from a lot of teams from set piece, not even corner kicks. It looks as if Chelsea have done a very good job in dealing with corner kicks, but then the issue has been the long throw-ins that they have conceded a lot of goals from. And then, if you look at the English Premier League, teams are watching more goals from set plays at Chelsea even before Arsenal. And especially if you take up the penalties from it and you make it only throw-ins and corner kicks, Chelsea have scored more goals than Arsenal from set plays. But Arsenal are in the point of the game where they are near perfect when it comes to playing of set pieces and executing them, even from both phases, defensively and then offensively. Now, Chelsea are doing well offensively with respect to set pieces, but then struggling at a level that is boring at this point in time, to the extent that almost every team that plays against Chelsea, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Sunderland, Brentford, whoever, begins to think that saying a set piece will be able to hurt this team, whether it is attacking the far post, whether it's overloading the first post, whether having extra man in the 6-yard area just so if the ball drops, they can smash home, or whatever. Teams are finding ways to hurt Chelsea from set plays, and that is a big thing going into this weekend's game. Now, it is not just because Torreira Mospe. It's not just because it's a derby. It is because the man in the dugout, Torreira Mospe, is essentially a set piece expert. People have forgotten he came from the Brentford pool of managers, where over there set piece is very important. And essentially, Bernardo Cueva is going to be playing against his senior man. I mean, his former boss, Sobekaya. In that game, na Chelsea boy against Brentford the last time. What happened was that when Chelsea played against them, Brentford for sure, last minute throw in goal. Bernardo Cueva was complaining on the touchline, said it is not a goal, offside. At that point in time, the referees did not listen to our bright friend Bernardo Cueva at that point in time, because they said actually, this one was later on realized that it was an offside. Now, the Keith Andrews, who was the set piece coach, who replacing Bernardo Cueva, had beaten the unknown former boss in our bright friend Bernardo Cueva. So Cueva would want to get one on Thomas Frank when it comes to this weekend games at Chelsea and Mokoko. Now, this is the data. The data is that Chelsea in the Premier League this season, 6.10 conceded from set pieces. Chelsea have conceded 6.10 chances from set pieces first. Team are conceding the most chances from set piece per Chelsea. Now, I think there are reasons why these numbers are damning and they are worrying. I'll explain. 2, 45% XG conceded from set pieces first. All of them goes to team and friend the Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea, 45% as it stands now. They have conceded from set plays as it stands now. Still, Chelsea don't have this set piece issues now. 45% when it comes to set pieces as it stands now. They've conceded 45% in terms of chances from set pieces. Over there as well, 39%, 39.8%, almost 40% of shots conceded from set pieces. Chelsea are second in the Premier League. The team with the second most shots conceded from set plays is Chelsea. And of course, 0.14 XG shot conceded, joint first when it comes to set pieces. Chelsea have been much stronger from offensive set pieces, but then in a very, very dark place when it comes to defensive set plays. Now, I think there are two main reasons to this. I don't think it's particularly coaching. Now, I'll tell you why. I have seen something from Thomas Tuchel when he was at Chelsea, where time Nana Thomas was Chelsea, he struggled largely at certain points in the season to play against teams like Brentford, where Ivan Toney will use their bullish, big, bulky center forward physique to worry the opponents. It's their stock in trade, right? But one of the biggest issues I think Chelsea are facing this season is a lack of physicality in the team. The physicality floor is very low. Chelsea team, there are a lot of technical players. Stavao, Willian, Joao, Pedro, Neto, Enzo Fernandes, Caicedo is also very technical as well, Marco Correa, Reece James. But how many of them are very physical? How many of them are have that physicality, have that big, bulky presence. If you look at the Liverpool team, Ryan Gravenberch has it, Ibrahima Konate has it, Virgil van Dijk has it. If you look at that same team, Cody Gakpo is not bad, Domenico Szoboszlai, height in terms is not bad. They have a tall goalkeeper in both Mamadashvili and also a brand here friend Alisson Becker. So that is a team that has a lot of presence when they have to defend set plays. Now, on the side of let's say Arsenal Football Club, look at Gabriel Magalhaes, look at William Saliba, look at all of these players that are in this Arsenal team. Look at Ricardo Calafiori, look at Piero Hancapié, look at Christian Mosquera when he comes in. Ben White is not even a small player in terms of physique and presence. In the middle of the park, Declan Rice is right there. Mikel Merino is very important. Vitor Gyökeres is very important. These are all Kai Havertz, if he's available, is very important. These are big, bulky players that can deal with set plays and deal with them very, very well. But here is the case where at Chelsea, where physicality is lost. They don't have that presence in games to be able to go into games and deal with those physicality. Manchester United have also done a very good job in that regard, where they've added a lot of physicality. Šeško, Mbeumo, Matthias Cunha, all of these guys being very, very physical, very, very combative, and finding ways to get results in terms of getting goals and assists and stuff like that, and defending in set plays. Chelsea need to raise the floor of set plays. They need to find a way to raise the set plays floor. It is what is going to make the difference. How Chelsea will be able to deal with their set play issue is very, very important. How are they going to find ways to make sure that they deal with who sorts out the set play conversation, who manages Chelsea when it comes to Chelsea's set play, and how they'll be able to solve it out. It was very, very glaring in that game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. It was very, very glaring. It was clear that Chelsea were being bullied off the park. They were being, the physicality is not there. So I think teams come to play against Chelsea and think that these are small boys who are, let's fight them, let's be more aggressive, we'll win the battles. And that's why someone like Marco Correa is very important for the team. Again, if Moses Caicedo is also not 100% on in terms of wanting to go into battles and all of those things, it affects the team so much. The last game at home in the English Premier League, I think Moses Caicedo was a little bit off in that regard. He wasn't really on when it comes to those physical conversations over it. Now, I'll talk about something that Joe Cole has said. So it is Tottenham are now all excited. They are looking up to Chelsea, who are a million miles from Spurs. But here is the difference feeling to this game. If Chelsea are going to beat Spurs this weekend, you are relying on players like Pedro Neto, who is brilliant, Guedes, who scored a goal, and then got an assist against Wolves, and Estevao. That is exactly what they are saying when it comes to Chelsea playing against Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Paul Merson did a prediction for Chelsea versus Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Paul Merson said this is the biggest game of the season for both teams after this Chelsea face Wolves and then Burnley in the league. If they beat Spurs and then in this weekend, they will be confident of going into those games feeling like they can make it 3 straight wins out of 3 when it comes to those games. I've said it that Enzo Maresca needs to get consistency. It's not just about winning one game and then taking his feet off the pedal. The players need to ship out consistency. For last season, if you compare last season to now, Chelsea have dropped in points, I think about 3 or 2 points or so when it comes to Chelsea Football Club. And then last season, Paul Merson says that Chelsea must start with Pedro Neto in this game. It's a big pitch at Tottenham Hotspur. He's quick as anything. Almost certain Estevao will also start the game. I doubt Maresca will start Estevao in such a big game like this. Both wingers must track back enough. Spurs have fullbacks who love to go forward. So if Chelsea wingers do not help in the defense, their team will get overrun. That is exactly what we're talking about. And there is also data that Chelsea players to complete the most passes in the final third this season. This season, games Chelsea players are completed the most passes in the final third. Chelsea players are said he drew the opponent's passing area to complete the most passes. Now, Enzo Fernandez leads that. Moses Caicedo is second, and Reece James also right there when it comes to playing on final third passes and then getting the results in that regard. It's something that Chelsea have done very, very well. I think that game against Wolverhampton Wanderers is a game where Jaime Guedes played very, very well, and you can see that his confidence did come. He had a lot of confidence in that game, and that's exactly some of the good things that is good when it comes to a player growing up into it. Again, I think that our Brentford friend Jaro Hato is also building his momentum and he's going into it. He's getting better in that regard when it comes to what Jaro Hato can do for them. Of course, Chelsea need to get their best players on the field of play. They need to practically go into games knowing that they can get the job done. It's a big worry that Chelsea go into that game without a Brentford friend Liam Delap, because that would have been really important. The International Football Association Board, IFAB, has discussed the possibility of limiting how long a player can spend in throw-ins. Of course, it looks like these days the long throw-ins is a thing, and almost everybody is beginning to do it as much as they have to do when it comes to the games and its preparation. Almost everybody's doing everything when it comes to this set plays. There was a time we had Rudiger, Christensen, Alonso, Havertz clearing every set piece that came our way. I don't see that level of physicality in the squad. And of course, Chelsea don't have that level of physicality. Of course, going some game weeks, and it's clear that Tottenham must a lot of teams want to make sure that they exploit set pieces from Chelsea. Gettings after the game against Wolves says that I love playing with everyone here. They are so talented and they understand the game. They're so intelligent and they know what to do. Playing with them is like an honor. That is exactly what Bino, Jimmy, Gettings, they said over there. Chelsea needs to find ways to start getting results and then doing that consistently. It's very important. It is very important that Enzo Maresca and his boys are able to go back into it and then get the results that they want to get. Of course, that is exactly how they can go into these games and then prepare, gets the result. It's important, but let's go elsewhere, because this weekend there are going to be a lot more. The games are going to go up. You don't want to miss anything. I can't several times I say, you bro analysis no, you are more games no, they did home come. I said that Arsenal have a huge advantage in terms of winning the English Premier League. Only a few things can stop them. And if you look at the last few weeks, Campo, the results that Arsenal have gotten and how teams are beginning to drop off. Liverpool have dropped off. Man City have dropped off. Manchester United, they are now picking up. But Manchester United is not even consistent enough. I don't think Manchester United can give us now a run for their money if they keep it up. Again, if you look at Bournemouth, I don't think Bournemouth have the players to go on a long spell throughout the season. They drop off at some point in time. So that is the thing. And that's why it's clear to me that Arsenal Football Club look like the team that are going to get a job done. They look like the team that are going to go into it and then gets the ultimate results when it comes to games. There's one more ball. And then when it comes to making sure that at the end of the day, we might go into games, no matter. It's very important when it comes to Arsenal Football Club. Will they be able to go on and then go and win? And can Anna Slots this weekend go back into the season and begin to get results? And Kofoze, he is beginning to explain too much. See, and as or my a lot of explanations na you win a year na win a year na. The last time put you see Chelsea team first of all bench but no next of all on the bench. And was you bought a KTK, bought Alexander Ishak, bought all of these players, you are still complaining. But I said I see football and its fans and the game, it's a very fickle game. Today you are winning, fans are singing your name and they're excited. And Jose Pereira, who is the coach of Wolverhampton Wanderers, said it last week. Clearly said fans will sing your name, they'll be excited about you. But the truth of the matter is that once results begin to plummet, nobody really gives a hoot. Forget that they sang your name a couple of weeks ago or just a week ago and then come back and then ask questions of your methods. They will want to know if you are good enough and even let you know that you are not good enough just because you lost a game or two. So that is the big issue when it comes to the modern football. It's the competitiveness. It's the fact that it's really difficult for anybody to stay at the top for long. So when you start staying on the top, you need to make sure that you hold on to it, get a result more, and then stay at the very top. Or you are in trouble. I mean, imagine Liverpool have won the league last season, and this season they are under all sorts of pressure. In 5 losses out of 6 or 6 losses out of 7. It is worrying, but Charlie, solid stuff. This weekend, Premier League Manager of the Month, Abrantia friend Ruben Amorim. I mean, he deserves to be there. He deserves to have a mention in that one, because what a turnaround after that Liverpool game, the game against Sunderland, and all of the games that Manchester United have played. They have firmed it up against Brighton and Hove Albion. I hope nobody gave them a chance against Brighton and Hove Albion. Now they are having firmed it up, cutting the results, and then played as well as they want to play. That is very, very good stuff when it comes to Manchester United and the job that they want to do. They're getting back into it. Now there is confidence I can see, but it's about how Manchester United can keep up the momentum and keep on going in terms of the games that they want to play. Keep on going in terms of getting the results that they want to get. That is important. And again, mind you, in just about 2 or 3 weeks, teams will find out how Manchester United are playing and they'll devise means and results to play against them specifically. It's about how well Ruben Amorim can metamorphose and change. It's about how well Ruben Amorim can really understand that the problems here and then find solutions. That is what makes Premier League managers stand out. And that's going to be the big question for Ruben Amorim, if he's really the guy at Manchester United. But at this point, he's in a good place and he has to enjoy all of them. A Football Club Barcelona, there is big conversation this morning. Deco, and they say he has gone to meet the agent of Julian Alvarez, Fernando Hidalgo. I mean, unless Barca are telling me that now they've been able to raise money to go in there and then sort out all of their financial issues. But then, according to, is this Sport or Mundo that is reporting this story? According to Mundo, now this morning, Deco wants to talk to Julian Alvarez's agent, Fernando Hidalgo. Barca consider him as the perfect defender, as a perfect Lewandowski replacement. Really, I mean, Julian Alvarez as the perfect Lewandowski replacement is a little bit, something. I don't know how exactly that feels, but then again, I don't really think that is the case. Lamine Yamal is not considering surgery assistance in the pubalgia issues that he has in his groin. If the discomfort persists for weeks, then the possibility would start to be analyzed. So as it stands now, no surgery for our brand friend Lamine Yamal Ibanez Nazari. It doesn't look like that is what's going to happen. External consultations have been conducted to understand how surgery could help when it comes to Lamine Yamal and the issues that he's having in his pubic area. Charlie, really, really discomforting and preventing the young man from getting the results that he has to get, playing the football that he has to get. It's affecting him in all phases of play. I'm spending my free time. Yes, he said that he does it so much with his children. In an interview, Szczęsny spoke about his personal life, how Robert Lewandowski, I don't know if you remember the story where Robert Lewandowski and I already commend their branch friend Wojciech Szczęsny to Deco and of course to the Barcelona people. Said, Charlie, Wojciech Szczęsny has left Juventus and he's not doing anything when that injury of a branch friend of Marc-Andre ter Stegen happened. Now the rest is history. He talks about being excited about our Champions League run that took them to the semi-final, winning the Spanish La Liga, something that he had not won before. He sees that as a very, very big thing for himself. Szczęsny goes on to say that I'll say something negative about Levy. He's really bad at accepting defeat in table tennis. He's not bad at the game itself, but he hates losing so much. He always finds excuses. The wind, the floor is slippery, and you were talking. I've beaten him several times when they play. Of course, he talks about how my friend Robert Lewandowski brought him to Football Club Barcelona to get to the very top. They asked him about Rashford. I said, Charlie, Rashford has fewer goals than he deserves because in training, when he is having a good day, you can't stop him. It shows how magical, that's magical right foot, more in the match, he will be very dangerous. Of course, I said several times that if you talk about the quality of Marcus Rashford, and if you've watched him closely, you know that he's a top player. And there is a top player right there for my dear friend Marcus Rashford. And I'm glad that it's happening at Barcelona because at Manchester United, like he himself has said, it was so toxic to the extent that it was going to be difficult for it to be revealed. Now, everybody at Football Club Barcelona is beginning to see what Marcus Rashford brings to them. Everybody at Football Club Barcelona is beginning to see how good Marcus Rashford is on that left foot and the quality that he brings to the game. So, I mean, it's important to have Marcus Rashford. It's important to see him and see him as the player that he is. And it's good that all of the players now, they played with him, say that he's top. And Wojciech Szczęsny went and says that Rashford is an excellent player. I love him a lot. Directing his play, attacks with speed, and he's contributed a lot of goals. I think he's a complete player. I remember him since he was 18 or 19 in the Premier League. I knew he was special back then, according to Wojciech Szczęsny, when it comes to what Marcus Rashford can do, the quality of Marcus Rashford's play, how good Marcus Rashford is, and all of those things. No, it is very, very important when it comes to who just shares in and what he comes with and all of that. Oh, Mumbisan said the most famous person in your contact. And I said, Cristiano Ronaldo. But on friend, he's proven he is my phone. Has just proven he is in my phone. That's exactly what he's saying. He said, on for a branch of friend Cristiano Ronaldo. So the most famous person in his contact list or not. Say, what's the right way to brushing your teeth? Water first or toothpaste first? Water first, of course. I don't understand how some people put toothpaste on a dry brush. Say he doesn't understand. There has someone who advises Lamine Yamal, counsels him and tells him what to do or what not to do. That's what people are saying. Drake kicking the camera after Stick makes him lose his temper when it comes to the play that he wants to play. Of course, it's very, very interesting to see how Barca go. Of course, the good news is that Juan Garcia has accepted to be ready on November 8th against Celta de Vigo. That is the best news for Football Club Barcelona. Getting a brand friend Juan Garcia back into the fold. No, very, very important. Barca needed that commanding presence of a brand friend Juan Garcia. The sweeping ability of Juan Garcia, the presence of Juan Garcia, which has been a big issue. And according to Mundo, in November 8th against Celta de Vigo, Juan Garcia is going to be back. Hansi Flick and his staff will analyze whether it is better for him to play after the international break or play him next week. That is very, very important. Say whether we're born next week and also train to wait till next week and so on when it comes to Juan Garcia and then the fitness at Football Club Barcelona, of course. Hansi Flick is doing some good job, but after that El Clasico loss, they need to get back and get results. It is very important. Barca needs to get back and get results. Now, the injury table, interesting. Dani Olmo, back. Lewandowski, back training. Juan Garcia, 1 to 2 weeks. Christensen, 2 weeks. Rafinha, 3 weeks. Wow. Pedri, 6 weeks. Ter Stegen, 7 weeks. Gavi, 4 months. Oh, Charlie. Barca are in some difficulty when it comes to the players and when they are going to return. And I think that has been Hansi Flick's biggest issues this season. Injuries. That has been Hansi Flick's biggest issue. Since he arrived at Barcelona, the team has suffered 38 injuries. 11 players have missed this time when it comes to injuries. That is very, very, very worrying power for Hansi Flick as a manager. For him to be getting this much injuries, our team, obviously, it's affecting him. It is really, really, really affecting coach and friend Hansi Flick. But Football Club Madrid, the exact opposite, because everybody seems to be back. Militao, after those long ACLs, is back. David Alaba is back. Jude Bellingham is back. Who else? Eduardo Camavinga is back. They have gotten almost everybody back. Of course, even Trent Alexander-Arnold, the only person that's out for long-term assistant, Danny Carvajal, who's going to be out for quite some time, assistant now. But then apart from that, almost everybody is back in that Real Madrid team. And of course, after that win against Football Club Barcelona, Madrid have gotten some breaks to go and sit somewhere and then prepare and come back for the rest set of games. Now, in November, Madrid play against Valencia, our league game in match day 11. They play in match day 4 in the Champions League against Liverpool Football Club. Charlie, that is going to be huge. Very, very huge power between Football Club Madrid and team in front of Liverpool Football Club. Very interesting game that is going to go on that side also. Then they come back to play against Rayo Vallecano, and then they play against, I think, Girona, and then play against in the Champions League again, and then go on to go and play Girona in the last one before the con. So there's going to be 9th, 13th, and then 26th. So between 13th and 26th, there's going to be that 1 week international break that we'll have. And then later on, there's going to be the 2 more games in November. So very interesting with the games that Football Club Real Madrid are going to play in the month of November. It's going to be interesting how they are going to build the momentum from there. Xabi Alonso and Emrante, how they are going to get up and then get a result. It is going to be really, really interesting when it comes to the quality of play. I think that Madrid are in a good place. And in the hands of Abrante Afreno, Xabi Alonso, Madrid have been solid. Real Madrid will not train at Anfield next week before the game like they usually do at Champions League match. Xabi Alonso decided to train and for the Babas before traveling. So like, guys, let's draw the curtain. I was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Very soon, in a couple of hours, we'll bring you some more. There's an analysis. Until then, adios.